All right, joining us now, Fox News contributors Jason Chaffetz and Kaylee McGhee-White. Good to see you both. Kaylee McGhee-White, we have a couple of things happening simultaneously here. Now, this meeting with President Xi, we understand that the president, and I spoke to him before coming on the air, that issues involving agriculture, American farmers, TikTok, rare earths, tariffs, purchasing of oil from Russia, all on the table in this meeting. This is a big meeting.
It is indeed, and you imagine that trade is going to be a very big topic in this meeting. Obviously, much of the Trump administration's efforts in regards to tariffs and sort of other economic pressures have been rooted in trying to pressure Xi to the table and to try and get China to ease up on some of its own economic warfare against the United States. So if we can come to an agreement as two countries and sort of end this economic Cold War between the two of us, both countries will be much better off. But it's been very difficult going for President Trump in that regard.
Yeah, I agree. Jason, I'll throw it to you. You can talk a little bit. We're looking again moments away from President Trump's, meeting with President Xi, which I think is, this. If we have a breakthrough here, I think it would be a real feather in the president's cap. I think, as the president said, it would be good for both nations to put aside differences. They need access to American markets. We need certain things from them, like rare earths. Although the president did make a deal with South Korea, he did make a deal with Australia and Japan. But agriculture, resolving the TikTok issue, the importing of Russian oil, which is funding Putin's war machine. These are all big issues.
Yeah, and China needs to stop spying on us. They need to stop the intellectual theft of the intellectual property theft that goes on. They need to allow American businesses the same types of access into the Chinese market that we allow China to participate here. And fentanyl is certainly a big, big issue. I think the president takes that very personally. The intelligence shows very clearly the precursors, the materials, the Chinese capabilities, the pill presses and whatnot. That's all of Chinese making. They may be partnering with the Sinaloa cartel, doing money laundering. All of this is on the table. But I tell you what, the United States of America has the best negotiator ever. I mean, can you imagine if this was a Kamala Harris or Joe Biden? My goodness. We had the best negotiator because we got the best president, the strongest president, a military to back it up, and the political will to actually get tough things done. That's why Donald Trump, I think, will be successful here.
So the House Oversight Committee yesterday came out with this auto pen analysis, 91 pages. Yeah. In summary, it is very clear, a prima facie case, that people covered up for Joe's cognitive decline. We have no idea who made the decisions. In an interview with the New York Times, Joe Biden even admitted that he only set down standards and criteria for commutations and pardons. If he didn't make the choice himself, as James Comer, the head of the committee, has said, those commutations, those pardons are null and they are void. Do you agree? I thought it was a very comprehensive report.
I think Chairman Comer and the Oversight Committee did an exceptional job. I like the statement that Attorney General Pam Bondi said she was going out and looking at. I still think there's an empty hole in this. They still have not looked at covert actions, Department of Defense moves, things that the CIA would be doing, how those things were authorized. I think the Oversight Project, of which I'm involved, highlighted that over a 4-year process, excluding public law signatures, 88% of the time, Joe Biden was using an auto pen. And then they spent months getting testimony under oath that nobody could attribute many of these things directly to the president himself. You can't go out and get an auto loan. You can't go out and go to your local shelter and get a kitty cat without providing some sort of documentation. And yet we're commuting sentences of people on death row. That's what Joe Biden was doing. So there's a lot for Pam Bondi to unearth here.
Okay, if SNAP benefits, Kaylee, run out by Saturday, will this now be the final pressure point, taking away benefits for 42 million Americans that really are in need? Is that going to be what does it for the Democrats? Will they then come to the table? Will they then go for a clean CR?
Well, I'm not sure, because the reason that Democrats are continuing to hold our government hostage is because they want to hide the consequences of their failed policies. They own the shutdown from top to bottom, not just the length of it, not just in the number of times that they voted to extend the shutdown, but they also own the consequences of the policies that are at the root issue here. One of them, obviously, is health care for illegal immigrants. Look, if the continuing resolution passes, and the gravy train is up for some of these blue states that have passed health care for illegal aliens, they are going to be in a very tough spot. California already had to take out a multi-billion-dollar loan to make up for the shortfall after expanding its own health care program to illegal aliens. And then you have the temporary COVID subsidies for Obamacare. The reason why Democrats want to extend those again is because if they don't, a whole lot of Americans are going to figure out just how unaffordable Democrats' so-called Affordable Care Act made their health care. So they own this, and this is actually it's an opportunity for Republicans to show the American public just how much the Democratic policies have failed.
All right, Kaylee, good to see you. And Jason Chaffetz, always good to see you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.